The highly anticipated 1.1 update for Arknights Endfield introduces a powerful new character, Tangtang. This cry support and damage dealer has a versatile kit that may seem complex at first, but becomes very strong once you understand how it works properly. In this detailed guide, we will break down her abilities, recommend the best gear and weapons, and explain effective team compositions to help you reach her maximum damage potential. So without much yapping, let's get into the video. First, let's take a look at her basic attacks. Tangtang can fire up to 5 shots in a row, each hit dealing cryo damage, and the final shot also applies a stronger stagger effect to the enemies. Things to note is, her normal attacks are not really the main part of her kit, but they are still a good option for the players who want to use her as a main damage dealer. But one interesting detail in her attack chain is the third hit, where she moves forward with a small dash while attacking. This movement can actually help you dodge enemies' attacks, and it also makes her combat rotations feel much smoother. Now let's move to the core part of her kit, which is her battle skill. When Tangtang uses her skill, she deals cryo damage to the enemies, while also creating a water sprout. Using this skill will also consume all nearby whirlpools and turn them into additional water sprout. You might be wondering what the difference is between a whirlpool and the water sprout. Simply put, whenever Tangtang activates her combo skill, a whirlpool is created on the field, and you can only have up to 2 whirlpools at the same time. These whirlpools don't deal any damage on their own, but when you use her battle skill, all active whirlpools get consumed and turn into water sprouts that deal heavy damage to the enemy nearby. For example, if you use water sprout without having any whirlpools active, it will only deal its base damage. If one whirlpool is present, the damage of water sprout increases, and with maximum 2 whirlpools, the damage becomes much higher, giving more damage compared to the normal skill. Because of this, building up whirlpools before using Tangtang battle skill is very important. On the top of that, water sprout don't just deal damage, they also provide our susceptibility to the enemies and return SP, which makes Tangtang very valuable as a support in the teams like Yvonne or Last Night Hyper Carry, where extra damage amplification and faster rotation make a big difference. Another very important detail is that this water sprout also apply cryo infliction to the nearby enemies. This matters a lot because whenever cryo infliction is applied or when an art burst is triggered on the enemies, Tangtang combo skill activate, which then create a whirlpool. And as we already discussed, whirlpools are the key to increasing her water sprout damage. So this interaction is what keeps her whole kit flowing together during combat. If you unlock Tangtang first talent, standing within about 5 meters of a whirlpool will gives a light 20 haste, while enemy inside that range gets slowed by 40%. Since you can only have 2 whirlpools at the same time, each lasting around 30 seconds, and her skill cooldown is 12 seconds, you need to manage your timing properly if you want to keep both whirlpools active throughout your full rotation. Now let's talk about her ultimate. When Tangtang uses her ultimate, she removes her eye patch, briefly immobilizes nearby enemies, and deals cryo damage continuously for a short duration. When the ultimate ends normally, she releases a last burst of damage in front of her. However, you can also perform a dive attack to end the ultimate early, which will immediately trigger an even stronger burst of damage around her. If her second talent is unlocked, ending the ultimate early will also consume all active whirlpools and create an enhanced water sprout that can deal up to 80% more damage, making this one of the strongest part of her kit. Now that we have gone through Tangtang's full kit, let's move on to how you should actually use her abilities in real combat situations. Start by using Tangtang skills to apply cryo infliction on enemies, which will trigger her combo skill and create a whirlpool on the field. Repeat the process until you have the number of whirlpools you need. Once the whirlpool are ready, use her ultimate to immobilize enemy, and then follow it up with the dive attack to end the ultimate early. This will consume all the whirlpools and create a powerful water sprout, dealing a huge amount of damage. The rotation itself is very simple, but when done correctly, it gives a very high damage. Now let's talk about her best gear set. Since most of Tangtang's damage comes from her skill, the Bone Crusher set is currently her best option. This set gives very strong stats and also increased battle skill damage, which fits perfectly with how her kit works. In most cases, you can activate the full 4-piece bonus without changing your normal rotations, which makes it the most reliable choice for her. One thing to keep in mind is that water sprout created from her ultimate will not trigger the 4-piece Bone Crusher effect, because the bonus only works when the battle skill itself is used. If you want to play Tangtang more as a main DPS, the MS Security 3-piece set can also work well. It gives good stats like critical rate and attack, and in some situations it can even outperform Bone Crusher. However, in most fights, Bone Crusher is still the more consistent option overall. Tangtang can use several different weapons, but her best option is still her signature weapon, Brigand Scoling. It gives a large agility boost along with a very high cryo damage bonus, which make it the strongest choice for her in most situations. If you don't have her signature weapon, the protocol pass weapon, Home Longing is a very good alternative. It gives a strong agility buff, a high cryo damage bonus, and also give a good amount of attack from its passive, making it one of the best replacement when Brigand Scoling is not available. For free-to-play players, the 5-star hand cannon Opus the Living is another great option. It works well in almost every situation because it gives high agility, a solid arts damage bonus, a good attack increase, and even some extra critical rate. And if you don't have any of these weapons, the 4-star Long Rod is still a perfectly usable choice. It gives a good amount of damage bonus and attack stats, and it works surprisingly well with Tangtang's kit, making it a reliable free-to-play friendly option. Finally, let's take a look at Tangtang's potential and how much they actually affect her damage. Her first potential increases the multiplier of her combo skill by 1.2, reduces its cooldown by 2 seconds, and also improves the SP return from her skill. Overall, this potential doesn't completely change how she plays, but it makes her rotation feel smoother and more consistent, which is a nice quality of life improvement. Her second potential gives 20 agility and an extra 10% cryo damage bonus. This is a direct damage increase with no conditions, so it's one of the better upgrades for her. If you are planning to invest more into Tangtang and want higher damage, this is a very good potential to aim for. Tangtang's third potential elevates her skill damage multiplier by 1.1 and enhances her art amplification ability by 5%, offering a respectable buff to her capabilities. Her fourth potential reduces her ultimate energy cost by 15%, facilitating more fluid ultimate rotation. And her final potential increases her ultimate damage by 1.15 times, while also boosting the damage of Water Sprout generated by her ultimate by a massive 80%. In conclusion, her potential feel well balanced, with each one giving a clear benefit without making the character feel broken. Player who wants to invest more can go for these upgrades to get extra damage and smoother rotations, but at the same time, free-to-play players can still fully enjoy the game as Tangtang remains a completely functional character even without any potential upgrades. One of the best things about this character is how flexible she is. She can work both as main damage dealer and as sub DPS, which allows a lot of different team combinations. Let's start with her main DPS teams first. For a main DPS setup, a team with Shai, Alice, Gilberta and Tangtang works extremely well and gives a very stable damage. If you don't have Gilberta, you can easily replace her with a more free-to-play friendly option like Ardelia, and the team will still perform very well. Her real strength usually shows more when she plays as a sub DPS, especially when paired with a character like Yvonne. In this setup, Tangtang becomes one of the best support for Yvonne, and the core of the team is usually Yvonne, Tangtang, Shai. The last slot can be filled by Gilberta or Ardelia, depending upon what you have. If neither of them is available, Akikuri can also work as a replacement. And if you don't have Shahi, you can use Alice instead, and the team will still function properly. Outside of those roles, she is also very valuable for the cryo operators, especially in last right hyper carry teams. In this type of teams, she helps generate cryo stacks much faster, which makes the rotation smoother and improves the overall damage output. Because of this, she fits very well in last right teams that rely on fast attack building and clean rotations. There are also several other team variations you can use depending upon what characters you have, and these setups can be based on your roster. You can choose the one that fits your account the best, since Tangtang works well in many different compositions. Now for the final thoughts. Is Tangtang worth pulling? In my opinion, she is a very strong and very flexible character who can work both as DPS and as a sub DPS. She fits into a lot of different teams and can improve the performance of many compositions, especially team like Cubone Hyper Carry, where she gives a very noticeable damage increase. Even though she is very strong, she still feels balanced and doesn't make the game feels unfair, which is usually a good thing. Players who want to invest more into her can get higher damage, but even without heavy investment, she already performs very well. Because of that, I would highly recommend pulling for her, especially if you already have Yvonne, since she becomes one of the best support for that team. She is also very useful in last ride teams. So thanks for watching guys, this was Tangtang Guide and see you in the next one.